Imagine, just for a moment, living a life free from worries and the constant need to strive. Picture a day where the pressure to succeed or to seek validation simply vanishes. How would that feel? Envision a life where peace isn't something you chase after endlessly, but something you can discover right here, right now. What does true freedom mean to you? True freedom isn't about achieving more, it's about letting go, the need to control our thoughts, desires, and the world around us. Often our minds deceive us into believing that more action, more success, and more validation will bring us the peace we seek. But what if the opposite is true? What if peace and true freedom come from releasing the need to control and simply being? Today, we're embarking on a journey to explore how embracing the present moment and surrendering the ego can transform your life, leading you into a deeper peace than you've ever experienced before. I understand it's challenging. We live in a society that constantly tells us we must always be doing something, always striving, always achieving, always looking ahead to the next step. Amidst all this, we often feel disconnected from the one thing we truly have, the present moment. Every day it's about more work, more goals, more accomplishments. But what if the real power, the kind that leads to true freedom, doesn't lie in what we achieve at all? What if it lies in how we let go? How we stop holding on so tightly to the need to do, to be, to prove ourselves, and instead just allow life to unfold as it is. It's not easy. We're all conditioned to believe that success equals happiness, that more equals better. But deep down, we know it's not that simple. We understand that the more we chase, the more exhausted we become, and the more disconnected we feel from what truly matters. So, what if letting go, surrendering to the flow of life, and releasing the need to control every outcome is the answer? Stick with me through this journey, and by the end, you'll see how releasing control over your thoughts and life's outcomes can lead to a peace far deeper than anything you've ever chased. This isn't about being passive or giving up. It's about stepping into a powerful state of presence where life unfolds naturally and you can simply experience it as it is, free from the pressure to change it. Let's dive into the idea that true freedom comes not from doing more, but from doing less and letting go of everything you think you need. The illusion of control, how the ego keeps us stuck. The ego is that persistent inner voice that never seems to quiet down. It's the voice that whispers, you need more, you're not enough, or you must succeed to be worthy. It constantly stirs up feelings of inadequacy and urgency, pushing us to be better, do more, and climb higher. The ego thrives on comparison, judgment, and a never-ending quest for external validation. But what if this very voice is the barrier that keeps us from experiencing true peace? What if the more we listen to it, the more restless, anxious, and disconnected we feel from the world around us? The ego tells us that we need to be constantly striving, that we must prove our worth through our achievements, our relationships, and our possessions. It's the voice that says, you are what you accomplish, or you are what others think of you. Yet, in all this striving and reaching, we never seem to reach a point of contentment. There's always more to do, more to prove, more to have. The truth is, the more we give in to the ego's demands, the further we move from our natural state of peace and presence. So the question is, what if peace is not something we have to strive for, but something we can simply let ourselves be? What if we could quiet that inner voice, stop chasing, and just experience life as it is, without judgment, without the pressure to be more? Take, for instance, the great philosopher Socrates. He famously said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." At first glance, it might seem he was encouraging us to be more introspective, to constantly analyze our lives. But there's a deeper layer to that statement. Socrates wasn't just advocating for self-reflection. He was inviting us to free ourselves from the endless cycle of desires and ego-driven pursuits that distract us from what truly matters, simply being present in the here and now. Think about it. Socrates, a man who questioned everything, wasn't obsessed with accumulating wealth or fame. He wasn't concerned with how others saw him, and he certainly wasn't trapped in the never-ending race of success. He understood that the key to a meaningful life is found in stripping away all the layers of the ego, the desires, the constant striving, and the need for external validation. The goal was to live an examined life, a life where we question our assumptions, let go of our attachment to external measures of success, and cultivate a deep connection to the present moment. But here's the thing. The ego loves control. It thrives on certainty and predictability. The ego wants to know what comes next, and it will do anything to avoid uncertainty. Why? Because uncertainty feels uncomfortable. The ego craves the illusion of control because it gives us a false sense of security, making us believe that we can shape the world around us to meet our expectations. But is control really what we want, or is it just a way to avoid the discomfort of letting go? When life doesn't go according to plan, we scramble to regain control, don't we? We feel restless, anxious, and defeated when things don't unfold as we expected. We clutch tightly to our plans, our desires, our need to have everything figured out. But what if control is nothing more than a comforting illusion, a way to shield ourselves from the vulnerability of surrender? And what if, by surrendering, by letting go of the need to control everything, we could find a peace far deeper than any sense of security or predictability the ego offers? The ego tells us we must control, but maybe it's time we ask, what if true freedom is found in letting go of the need to control at all? Imagine the liberation that comes from releasing this need, allowing ourselves to flow with life rather than fight against it. Letting go, the key to true freedom. Here's a profound truth that many of us overlook. True peace is not found in resistance, but in acceptance. It's found when we stop pushing against life as it is. Think about it for a moment. How much energy do we spend fighting things we cannot change? Whether it's the way people behave, the way the world works, or even our own emotions, we are constantly at war with the present moment. But what if, instead of resisting, we could simply accept life as it is? What if we could stop trying to control the uncontrollable and allow ourselves to be in harmony with what is happening right now? Acceptance doesn't mean resignation or giving up. It's not about saying, well, this is just the way things are, so I'll do nothing. No, it's about allowing things to unfold without trying to force them into a shape that suits our desires. The moment we stop resisting, we begin to experience life more fully. Instead of fighting the current, we simply float with it. We stop seeing every challenge as a battle and start viewing it as an opportunity for growth. In this acceptance, we unlock the door to a deeper sense of peace, one that's independent of external circumstances. Take a moment to look at nature. Consider a tree standing tall in a field. It doesn't try to control the wind. It doesn't fight the changing seasons. When the winds blow hard, it bends with them. When winter comes, it sheds its leaves and enters a phase of rest. And when spring arrives, it grows again without resistance. Nature doesn't struggle against the flow of life. It adapts, grows, and transforms. Now ask yourself, what would happen if we were more like that tree? What would happen if we stopped fighting every little breeze, every unexpected twist of fate, and simply allowed ourselves to grow with the flow of life? Imagine the freedom of not trying to control every outcome, not constantly striving to force things into our own narrow vision. What if, by surrendering to the natural rhythm of life, we could become more resilient, more at peace, and more connected to the present moment? Like the tree, we too could stand strong and grow, regardless of the storms that come our way. Here's where it gets truly interesting. The more we let go, the more we actually gain. This might sound counterintuitive, doesn't it? In a world that constantly tells us to strive, control, and accumulate, it seems almost strange to say that letting go could lead to more. But think about it. When we release the need to control, we create space for life to unfold in its own perfect way. We stop gripping so tightly to our expectations, and in that space, something miraculous happens. We begin to attract the right experiences, the right people, and the right opportunities, not because we've forced them, but because we've allowed life to happen naturally. The paradox is this: when we stop trying to control everything, we open ourselves to receive far more than we could have ever planned for. We often think that letting go means giving up something, but in reality, it's about opening ourselves to something far richer and more meaningful. We make room for new possibilities, that for a sense of peace that isn't dependent on getting our way. Letting go isn't about losing. It's about gaining a deeper connection to life itself in all its mystery and beauty. So, what if the key to true freedom is not in holding on tighter, but in letting go completely? Living in the present moment, the true source of fulfillment. Let's pause for a moment and consider something simple yet profoundly transformative. All we truly have is this moment. The past is gone, the future remains a mystery. Yet, right here, right now, we are alive. Isn't that incredible? How often do we get caught up in regrets about the past or anxieties about the future, forgetting that this very moment is the only one that truly exists? If we could truly grasp this fact and let it sink in, how would it change our lives? Imagine living as though each moment holds all the possibilities we need, not waiting for the next big event, not fixating on what we've already lost or done wrong, but fully embracing the now. It's a powerful shift. When we stop living in the past or future, we see that the present is already rich and complete. Instead of searching for fulfillment in unreachable places, we find it exactly where we are. One simple practice to cultivate this awareness is mindful walking. The next time you're walking somewhere, resist the urge to let your mind drift into thoughts about earlier in the day or what's ahead. Instead, focus on each step, the sensation of your feet touching the ground, the sounds and sights around you. Let go of the need to be anywhere other than where you are. Observe, listen, and simply be in the moment. This practice may sound simple, but its effects can be profound. When you engage in mindful walking, you start to notice the things you usually miss. A bird perched on a branch, the rustling leaves, the warmth of the sun. You begin to realize that the present moment is full and complete, not lacking anything. It's not waiting for something extraordinary to happen before it becomes meaningful. Buddha once said, "Do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future, concentrate the mind on the present moment." Such a simple truth, yet one that many of us struggle to live by. Can we truly let go of the weight of the past and the worries of the future long enough to experience the fullness of now? Imagine the possibilities if we could. Living in the present doesn't mean ignoring the past or the future. It's about understanding their nature. The past is memory, the future is imagination, but the present is alive, it's real. If we stop and pay attention, we discover that the present moment is where life happens. So ask yourself, what would it take for you to live fully in this moment? To see it for what it is, the only moment that truly matters? Wouldn't that change everything? Transcending thought, the freedom found in silence. Have you ever tried to sit quietly for a few moments? If so, you know how relentless the mind can be. Thoughts dart in and out, some light and harmless, others heavy and overwhelming. They're like clouds in the sky, constantly shifting and moving. But let's pause and ask a profound question. Do you want to be the cloud, or do you want to be the sky? The clouds symbolize our thoughts, always active, fleeting, and sometimes turbulent. But the sky, it's the vast, unchanging backdrop that holds everything. It represents the spacious awareness that exists beneath all the noise. The sky doesn't chase the clouds or cling to them. It simply is. And so in each moment we have a choice. Will we identify with the thoughts racing through our minds, or will we rest in the calm, expansive awareness that observes them? Most of us live as though we are the clouds, entangled in thoughts, judgments, and mental chatter. But when we step back and realize that we are, in fact, the sky, we discover something extraordinary, the freedom of silence. This silence isn't about the absence of sound. It's the space where we connect with something deeper, our true essence. In those rare, quiet moments, life offers clarity and wisdom. The mind's constant busyness fades, and what remains is a profound stillness. It's in this stillness that we often find the answers we've been seeking, not through thinking or planning, but through being. Life's greatest insights and revelations emerge not in the noise, but in the space between the thoughts. Now here's a relatable truth. Trying to embrace silence often feels like herding cats. The moment you sit down to meditate, close your eyes, and attempt to quiet your mind, it begins to shout louder than ever. Thoughts flood in. What should I cook tonight? Did I lock the door? What if I'm wasting time sitting here? And then the ultimate kicker, I'm terrible at this. But here's the thing. It's not about silencing the mind entirely. That's like trying to stop the wind from blowing. The goal is to become the observer, the one who watches the thoughts without getting caught up in them. When the mind throws its tantrums, you don't fight back. You simply smile and say, ah, there you are again. With time, this gentle observation creates distance between you and your thoughts, reminding you that they don't define you. This process requires patience and humor. Yes, humor. The mind is clever, always looking for ways to pull you back into its grasp. It's like a playful child trying to grab your attention. But the more you practice stepping back, the more you see the mind's antics for what they are: fleeting moments, passing clouds. And here's the beauty of it: when you stop identifying with the noise, you begin to experience the profound stillness beneath it. You see that the clouds are temporary, but the sky is eternal. In this awareness, you no longer feel controlled by your thoughts. Instead, you witness them with curiosity and peace. So, what would happen if you chose to be the sky? If you let your thoughts come and go without clinging to them or pushing them away? The answer is freedom, the kind that's always been there, waiting in the silence beneath the noise. The surrender. Not weakness, but liberation. Surrender. It's a word that can feel heavy, even uncomfortable. For many, it conjures images of giving up or admitting defeat, a sign of weakness. But what if surrender wasn't about losing at all? What if instead it was about winning in a way that's deeper, freer, and more fulfilling? The truth is, surrender isn't about giving up. It's about giving in. Surrender is the art of letting go of the need to control every outcome, every detail, every turn of life's unpredictable path. It's a radical act of trust, a belief that life knows what it's doing, even when we don't. Imagine for a moment how liberating it would feel to release the constant pressure of "it must be this way," or "what if this doesn't work?" What would happen if you simply trusted the flow of life instead of swimming against it? How often do we find ourselves stuck in a cycle of control, planning every detail, clinging to expectations, and resisting anything that doesn't fit our vision? Yet, life has a way of moving in directions we couldn't predict, no matter how much we plan. And when things go wrong, we fight, we struggle, and we exhaust ourselves trying to force the world to match our idea of how it should be. But what if there's a better way? What if, instead of fighting, we could lean back and trust? Trust the current, trust the flow, trust that life's unfolding, even when messy or unexpected, is exactly what it's meant to be. History offers us countless examples of this principle. Think of Steve Jobs, a visionary who revolutionized technology. While he had an unshakable vision, he didn't micromanage every tiny detail. Instead, he surrendered to the creative process, trusting his instincts and the team around him. His surrender wasn't passive, it was active and intentional. He let go of rigid control, focusing instead on the essence of what he wanted to create. The result? Innovation that shaped the modern world. Or consider the great explorers and artists. Their greatness wasn't born from control, but from trust, trusting in their journey, their vision, and the unfolding process. They surrendered to the unknown, embracing the mystery, rather than trying to dominate it. Now, let's bring this closer to home. Ask yourself, what happens when I stop trying to control everything? The answer might surprise you. You gain freedom, freedom from stress, from anxiety, and from the endless chase for perfection. Surrender is not a resignation to failure. It's an invitation to live fully in the present, without the weight of trying to force the future into a specific shape. Surrender doesn't mean you stop working hard. It doesn't mean you stop striving or caring. It means you stop resisting. You stop forcing. You let go of the struggle against reality and learn to work with it rather than against it. And here's the paradox: the less you resist, the more you achieve. When you release your grip, life often gives you more than you could have imagined. Opportunities appear, clarity emerges, and peace replaces the chaos of control. So, what do you gain from surrendering? A clearer mind, a lighter heart, and the ability to be fully present for the only moment that truly matters: this one. By surrendering, you free yourself from the chains of stress and doubt, allowing your energy to flow where it's most needed, into living, loving, and experiencing life. The next time you feel yourself grasping tightly, trying to force something into place, remember, surrender is not a sign of weakness. It's a gateway to liberation. In letting go, you don't lose control, you gain peace. Trust the flow, and you might just find that it carries you exactly where you need to be. Living fully in the now, experiencing life's deepest joy. The present moment, this moment right here, is not just a fleeting second in time, it's a gateway to everything. We often hear people talk about living in the moment, but do we truly understand what that means? Most of us are either stuck in the past, replaying old stories, or anxious about the future, imagining all the what ifs. But when we truly embrace the present, we begin to see life in its full, unfiltered beauty. Think about it. It's like we've been walking around with blinders on, only seeing a narrow slice of what's right in front of us. But the moment we take those blinders off, we open ourselves up to the richness of existence. The colors are brighter, the air feels fresher, and suddenly we notice things we've been missing all along. The smile of a stranger, the warmth of the sun on your skin, the sound of laughter in the distance. These simple, everyday moments become treasures when we live in the now. We often think that joy is something we need to chase, that it's a goal to be achieved in the future. But true joy is not something we seek, it's something we experience when we simply stop and be present. The joy of life is not a distant destination, it's already here in every heartbeat, every breath, every moment. So I ask you, what would happen if you decided to live fully in this moment? What would it feel like if you stopped holding on to the past and future and embraced the now? Imagine for a moment, instead of worrying about what's next or regretting what's been, you simply let go and let life unfold. What if you could find the joy of this moment, no matter what's happening around you? Life would no longer feel like something you're waiting to happen. It would be something you're living right now, alive, vibrant, and present. The beauty, the peace, the joy, all of it is available to you in this very moment. All it takes is to stop resisting and start experiencing. So go ahead, take a deep breath, look around you, and truly be here. Let the present moment be your doorway to the deep joy that's been waiting for you all along. As we come to the end of this journey, I want to leave you with a powerful truth. The real secret to living a fulfilled life isn't in doing more, it's in letting go of the need to do anything at all. I know that might sound counterintuitive, especially in a world that constantly tells us to hustle, to achieve, to strive. But what if the true magic of life lies in releasing all of that? The more we hold on, the more we struggle. But the more we release, the more we receive. When we let go of our need to control, to define, or to achieve, we open ourselves up to something greater. We embrace life as it is. And in doing so, we unlock a deep sense of peace, freedom, and authenticity. The more we embrace the present moment, the more life itself begins to unfold with joy, ease, and clarity. Everything becomes clearer, lighter, and more alive when we stop trying to force things into place and simply allow them to be. It's the paradox of life. The more we stop doing, the more we become. The more we let go, the more we gain. In that space of surrender, we find the freedom to simply be, to exist, and to experience the fullness of life in all its beauty. With that said, thank you so much for joining me today. If what we've talked about resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below, hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more. Let's keep exploring this incredible journey of self-discovery together. Until next time, take care, and remember, let life be.